Could Street Fighter's Ryu survive Mortal Kombat? Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Let's dive on into this, Renzo gang. No more talking. Let's get it.
It tears, like something on the other side decided the fabric between worlds was an inconvenience, and Ryu drops through it onto blood-soaked dirt with nothing but his gi and his discipline. Raiden stands over him, eyes white, crackling with the kind of energy that makes the air smell like a lightning strike. He's not asking, he's recruiting. Earthrealm needs a champion, and the God of Thunder just pulled the most dangerous human alive out of a sparring session. You know Ryu, the man who can dodge point-blank gunfire, shatter granite with a focused palm strike, and fire a bolt of compressed ki energy that hits with enough force to crater reinforced concrete. He's not superhuman in the comic book sense. He's the absolute ceiling of what disciplined human biology can physically produce. And he spent his entire life trying to find something that can break him. Outworld is about to answer that question in the worst possible way. Tier
Street
1,
Fighter
the
and Mortal
Tarkatan
Kombat,
ambush
as
versus
always.
Baraka doesn't wait for an introduction. The second Ryu's feet find the arena floor, 3 feet of dense bone blade erupts from each forearm, and he's already moving. No posturing, no speech, just the wet sounds of blades cutting through air at roughly 40 miles per hour toward Ryu's torso. Here's the biomechanics problem Ryu faces immediately. A Tarkatan blade isn't a manufactured weapon with a machined edge. It's evolved bone, tapered to a tip that concentrates force into an area smaller than a sewing needle. When you run the math on the kinetic energy of a 220-pound mutant driving that strike forward, you're looking at roughly 3,200 psi of pressure at the point of contact. For context, a hydraulic press used to crush car engines operates at around 2,500 psi.
Let me see Ryu versus.
Trained beyond any documented human.
Let me see Ryu versus Scorpion.
Maxes out at a compressive strength somewhere around 1,800 psi. If he tries to block those blades with his forearms the way he'd block a kick, it doesn't break his arm comes off. So, Ryu doesn't block, he redirects. His micro parry system, which canonically operates fast enough to deflect bullets, works on a completely different mechanical principle. Instead of opposing the force, he strikes the flat side of the blade at the moment of extension, applying a lateral impulse of just a few...
You know what? I low-key wouldn't mind seeing a Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter game, but since I'm a Tekken person, I really want to see Mortal Kombat and Tekken. That's what I really want to see. But realistically, it'll be better to see Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. Because Tekken low-key is the weaker of the two, but that's my favorite fighting game, personally.
5 degrees, which sounds tiny until you realize at full extension, that's the difference between a kill shot and a near miss by 12 inches. Baraka lunges 6 times in 3 seconds. Ryu misses none of them. The counter comes on the 7th.
Ryu like that, that's why.
Drops his center of gravity,
he's like that.
His lead foot into the dirt, and fires a Shoryuken directly up through Baraka's chin. The physics here are brutal and clean. A rising uppercut from a fighter of Ryu strength, loaded through the legs and core and released through a rotating fist, generates an upward force in excess of 4,000 newtons. Baraka's cervical vertebrae, specifically C2 through C4, take the full load of that transfer in a fraction of a second. That's not a knockout. That's a structural failure of the spine. Survival tier? S. Ryu's skeletal structure is completely intact. He didn't take a single clean hit, and his energy reserves are barely touched. By his standards, that was a warm-up. Then the temperature drops 80 degrees in 6 seconds, and the warm-up is over. Tier 2, the Cryomancer's Chill.
Oh, yes.
Sub-Zero.
Let's go.
Crawls across the arena.
Okay, now I did find a couple more videos like this, and I would be doing an Incredible Hulk surviving Mortal Kombat world next. if you guys want to see that.
Floor in a spreading pattern that moves too fast to be weather.
Honestly, Baraka was not a challenge for Ryu, in my opinion. He was not a challenge. It's more so Scorpion, Sub-Zero, any ninja from the Lin Kuei, maybe Shang Tsung, maybe Shao Kahn. I think Ryu can survive Mortal Kombat world.
Starts being about thermodynamics. Sub-Zero's cryomantic ability doesn't just produce cold. It extracts thermal energy from matter at a rate that has no natural equivalent. When that ice blast,
I think Ryu probably could fight against Fujin and Raiden. In my opinion, I think he could. Because Ryu really is stronger than y'all think.
Individual cells start to crystallize, and the ice crystals have sharp edges. They rupture the cell membrane from the inside.
Insane in the membrane.
Body freeze on Ryu. Every soft organ he has turns into a bag of broken glass. That's not an injury you can recover from. The cold slows Ryu's CNS transmission speed by a measurable margin. Nerve conduction velocity in a healthy human runs about
Sub-Zero low-key getting him right now. I ain't even gonna lie, he low-key getting him.
By 15 degrees Celsius, and that falls closer to 40. His reaction window now has a lag. Sub-Zero reads it instantly and pushes harder. Ryu's answer is key. And this is where the physiology does something genuinely impossible. Ki maps closest to mitochondrial overdrive, a forced acceleration of cellular respiration so extreme that his body starts burning through caloric reserves to generate raw thermal output, pushing core temperature back up by sheer biological will. It costs enormously.
I low-key can't wait to see the Street Fighter movie come out in October.
He loads every joule of that generated heat into a Shinku Hadoken and fires it directly into Sub-Zero's isomer. The sudden thermal swing from near zero to several hundred degrees in the same material causes
I low-key want to see Ryu and Scorpion go at it, because I did see them in a death battle, and that was fuego.
He goes down. Survival tier A. He won, but his caloric reserves are gutted and his core temperature is swinging in a dangerous direction.
Let me get Scorpion next.
When the red laser sight paints a dot on his chest. Tier 3, the Cyber Initiative versus Sector. The laser dot on his chest isn't a warning. It's a targeting solution. Sector drops from above at terminal velocity and fires 2 homing missiles before his feet fully settle. The physics of this situation are ugly in a very specific way. A shoulder-fired missile detonates with a primary fragmentation radius of roughly 15 feet. But the thing that kills people inside that radius isn't always the shrapnel. It's the overpressure wave. The explosion compresses the surrounding air so fast and so hard that the pressure differential between the outside of your body and the inside of your body becomes catastrophic. Eardrums rupture at 5 psi overpressure. Lungs collapse at around 15. At close range, a detonating warhead generates peaks above 100 psi for a fraction of a second, enough to liquefy soft tissue without leaving a visible mark. Ryu can't trade punches with a shockwave. So
yeah, you're right about that.
He goes into the Tatsumaki Senpuku spinning at high angular velocity with limbs extended. And this is where fluid dynamics saves his life. The rapid rotation creates a localized low-pressure zone around his body, a pressure vacuum that partially equalizes the incoming blast differential. The shrapnel gets deflected outward along his rotational field rather than punching straight through him. He comes out of the spin with both ears bleeding and his forearms screaming, but his lungs are still working. Sector switches to close combat because his missile
he almost looked like Iron Man for a second.
That's the mistake.
The way this design was, I almost thought it was Iron Man.
Isn't a man fighting a machine. He's a precision instrument attacking a system. Cyborg hydraulics run on pressurized fluid lines routed through the joints, and those lines are the weakest structural point in the design. Ryu stops throwing at the armor plating entirely.
Come on, Ryu, get him.
Get him. To a knee joint. a shoulder coupling, an elbow hinge, with exactly enough force to rupture the internal line without wasting energy on the surrounding steel. Sector's movement starts locking up joint by joint, targeting systems losing calibration as the hydraulic pressure drops. When Ryu finally drives a palm strike into the center of the chest plate, there's almost no resistance left. The chest caves. Sector's power core goes dark. Survival tier B. He won.
I thought about Neji when he did the palm strike.
Left
My boy
Neji.
Neji.
Both forearm bones in a concussion
They tried to grab 2 palms. 64 palms.
Slightly out of sync with reality.
My boy Neji. R.I.P. to Neji.
Instruments now. Tier 4. The Hellfire Grudge versus Scorpion. The spear.
This is the fight I was looking for, Ryu and Scorpion. This is the fight I was looking for.
Barbed tip.
That's the fight I was looking for.
And before he can process the damage, Scorpion has already yanked the rope taut and pulled. The portal that opens isn't a spatial shortcut. It's a drop into the Nether Realm, and the Nether Realm has its own atmospheric biology that starts working on Ryu the moment he lands. Hellfire isn't combustion. Normal fire damages tissue through thermal transfer, cooking proteins and triggering localized pain receptors. Hellfire operates on the nervous system directly, and the distinction matters enormously. It bypasses the skin entirely and stimulates nociceptors at the neurological level, flooding the pain-processing centers of the brain with signals that have no physical source. There's no burn to stop, no wound to pressure. Ryu's brain just interprets every nerve ending in his body as being on fire simultaneously.
I ain't gonna lie, he look like he's struggling low-key. Scorpion is like that. He like he's struggling, I ain't gonna lie.
Inside the CNS itself. His concentration
I can see Ryu and Liu Kang going toe-to-toe. I can see that, definitely.
Before he can focus it. Scorpion doesn't need to be clever. He walks through the concussed, bleeding, neurologically overwhelmed martial artist and puts him in the ground methodically. 2 cracked ribs on the left side. The third gives way completely, and the fractured edge presses toward his lung. His already compromised reaction time drops further as blood pressure falls from the shoulder wound. Ryu's baseline human durability, extraordinary by any earthly standard, hits its ceiling, and the ceiling is too low for this room. He has one option left, and it's a door he's spent his entire life refusing to open. The Satsui no Hado, in biological terms, is a complete executive override of the body's self-preservation circuitry. His brain cuts all pain signal processing, floods the bloodstream with adrenaline and cortisol at concentrations that would be clinically fatal over any extended period, and removes every neurological limiter that normally prevents muscles from generating forces high enough to tear themselves apart. Those limiters exist for a reason. Ryu tears them out anyway. His eyes go dark. His gi splits at the shoulders from the sudden expansion of muscle fiber beyond its normal operational range. And he hits Scorpion with the kind of force that doesn't belong in a conversation about human physiology. Scorpion comes apart, not metaphorically. The Spectre's physical form, already tenuous between the living world and whatever he is, can't hold structure against that output. Evil Ryu stands over the dissipating smoke of him.
That's the only way he can beat Scorpion, in my opinion. Evil Ryu, because without that, Scorpion got you, dog.
Never designed to produce. Survival tier B. He's upright. That's the best thing you can say about it. The Satsui no Hado burns out.
So who you got next in mind?
Pain signal hits him at once, dropping him to one knee in a wave of damage his body suddenly can't ignore anymore. Tier 5. The Soul Harvest
God.
Shang Tsung. The Satsui no Hado doesn't
Shang
fade
Tsung.
It drains out of
You
him
might be
like
doomed on this
water
one,
through a
Ryu.
cracked
You my
hood.
boy and
And what's
everything, but you
left
might
when
be
it's gone
doomed.
is every bill coming due at once. Lactic acid that his nervous system couldn't register while the override was running now floods his muscle tissue in full concentration. His forearms, already fractured, lock up. His shoulder wound from Scorpion's spear stopped clotting properly
Your soul
somewhere in
is
the nether
mine.
realm. He gets back to one foot, then the other, and stands in the dirt of the outworld looking like a man who already lost. Shang Tsung doesn't rush. He doesn't open with a fireball
He
or
don't.
morph. He just looks at Ryu the way a man looks at a meal, and that's when the pull starts. The science of what Shang Tsung
Ryu, what you
does
gonna do
maps
against
on
Shang Tsung, bruh?
bioelectricity in a way that's
Now, what if he
genuinely
turned into
disturbing.
Akuma?
Every function in the human body runs on electrical signaling. Your heart contracts because an electrical pulse from the sinoatrial node tells it to. Your diaphragm pulls air because your phrenic nerve fires on a voltage differential. Your brain processes anything at all because neurons are constantly exchanging charged ions across a membrane.
And Shang Tsung, it's
That
like
electrical
every time
system
he fights an
isn't
opponent, it's like he
metaphorical.
tests them for some
It's
reason. I don't know what
measurable.
it is. It's
It's
like
physical,
in
and
a
it
weird way, it's
runs
like
on
he's
a
training
continuous
them,
energy
but at the same
supply sourced
time,
from ATP
yeah,
production at the
that's one of the
cellular
worst
level.
opponents to fight
Ryu's
against.
ATP pipeline is already nearly empty. The key overdrive against Sub-Zero burned his caloric reserves down to critical levels. The Satsui no
They low-key should have did something like Can Ryu survive in the world of Naruto? That would have been crazy.
Hado consumed whatever margin was left. His cells aren't generating enough adenosine triphosphate to sustain output at any meaningful level, which means the electrical system of his body is running on borrowed current. Shang Tsung reaches in and takes it. Ryu feels his hands first. He tries to form a Hadoken, the most fundamental technique he has. The one he's thrown
Shoryuken.
10,000 times against opponents twice
Hadouken.
his size. His palms are up. His fingers curl. Nothing happens. Not a flicker. The key that always answered him, even at his worst, even broken and bleeding in a losing fight, isn't there. The circuit is open. There's no charge left to complete it. His heart skips, then it skips again. The sinoatrial node loses its signal. His legs stop taking instructions. He goes down sideways, and the last thing his brain processes before the current drops to zero is the sound of Shang Tsung exhaling like a man finishing a satisfying meal. Survival tier F. Ryu didn't quit and didn't break. Outworld just collected what it was owed.
Dang, Ryu couldn't beat Shang
His
Tsung.
body hit every
That
wall
was
human
crazy.
biology has and punched
I like how
through
they
most
broke
of them.
this down.
Outworld has walls made of something else entirely.
I really like how they
Drop
broke
your
this
fighter's
down.
name in the comments, and we'll run them through the same gauntlet. Subscribe so you don't miss it.
I definitely think I'm gonna comment down below with this and give them a good idea. But yeah, this is a really good one. This is something very different. I was just trying to look at more in like animation stuff because like something like most of you guys, you love my animation reaction videos, and I love animation stuff. And yeah, that was really good. I got another one coming up. It's the Incredible Hulk surviving in Mortal Kombat world. So stay tuned for that one next, Renzo gang. I love y'all. I will see y'all next time. You know what to do.